Well, welcome everybody. Glad to see you here today. So let's start our show. So today we're going to talk about iOS 15 widgets. Now, the reason I specified iOS 15 is because the way that widgets work in iOS 16 is a little different. So we wanted to nail that down a little bit. So we did. This is Go for Lunch for September 27th, 2022, brought to you by GoFor Technology. My name is Roger Harmon. If you're new here, please type new in the comments so we can welcome you. And our mission today is to make your technology work for you. And speaking of missions, this is the DART edition of Go for Lunch. You may have seen or heard in the news about NASA's extraordinary accomplishment of sending a satellite millions of miles from Earth and hitting a very small asteroid. And the whole purpose of that was to be able to defend the Earth from a collision from asteroids in the future. So that is technology at its best. So the widgets are not anything new, actually. There used to be something called the Widgets dashboard. That started in macOS 10.4 Tiger, and it ended with macOS Mojave. And it looked like this. So you can see there's a, this is the Widgets dashboard. There's a calculator, a conversion program, the stickies, weather, a dictionary, the time, the calendar, so forth. So that was the old widgets. And now we have the new widgets starting with iOS 14 and continuing on into the latest version of iOS and iPad OS, and the widgets are now back in Mac OS as well. So widgets now look like this. So they can be added to your home screen and give you the same kind of information. Here's the clock, here's the tips, the weather, and this is from music and from your photo library. So the widgets come in different sizes, small, medium, and large, and then extra large on the iPad. So what are widgets? Well, they are little, not really applications. They work with an application to provide you timely information. So a widget, to answer Leslie Ann's question, is not a application, but it is like a little assist or a preview of an application. And widgets, again, can be in several different sizes. And they can appear in the home screen or in the Today view, which we'll show you a little later. And in the Mac OS, they are on the notification center in the upper right. So some of the common widgets might be weather, time zones, or stocks. Now, a widget is dependent on the software developer making a widget for their application. So you'll find that most of the Apple applications or apps have their own widget. However, some excuse me, get all choked up just thinking about it. Some third-party applications don't have widgets because their developers have not made them. So if you have a favorite application that you'd like to have a widget for, drop an email to that developer and encourage them to do that. So how do you install these widgets? Well, on the home screen, you touch and hold a widget or just an empty area in the screen until the apps jiggle. and then you touch the plus button in the upper left hand corner and you get the choice of widgets that you can add. Well, maybe you don't want those widgets anymore, so how do you remove them? Basically the same procedure. You touch and hold a widget until it jiggles. Then you'll see a little pop-up menu and you tap on the selection says remove widget. So let's see how all that works. So here we are on an iPhone, and again, everything I'm showing you here on the iPhone works on the iPad. So this is the home screen, and if we swipe right, this is what is called the Today screen. So we have a couple of widgets here. In the top left, we have the Tips widget. Top right, we have a clock widget. And the third widget here is a Siri suggestion widget. So what that does is Siri remembers the things you've done recently, and these are the things Siri thinks that you might want to do next. And then at the bottom here we have a wind conditions widget. So this is saying Chandler here because my internet provider's data center is in Chandler, and I have to play with this widget to get it to scroll here. So you can see here at Davis-Monthan we have wind from the north at 22 miles an hour. So it's a little windy out there, and Casa Grande is calm. So let's add a widget. So we'll come up here and we will just hold down a widget. Now we have the choices here that I mentioned, that you can remove the widget, you can edit the widget. So in this case we're going to hit edit widget, and this allows you to change the city for the clock. So right now we're obviously set on Cupertino, which during daylight savings time is the same time as Tucson. So if I just tap outside the widget, I will go back to the clock. So if we go here to the home screen, we hold down on a widget, on a icon or in a blank area, and you'll notice in the upper left hand corner is a plus sign. So we're going to tap the plus sign, and here are some choices for widgets. So this first choice, which is a map, now you notice underneath the map it says Smart Stack. So you can have stacks of widgets that you can scroll through. So here we have the Smart Stack, which has the Maps widget. It has your route to work map, so it has 3 different maps. And you can see here the little dots. It might be hard to see, but to the right of the widget there's a little vertical line of dots, which shows you how many different widgets are in this stack. So we're not going to add that. We're going to add, we're going to search. So let's search for stocks. There it is. And so now we have some choices here. We have the small widget. We have the medium size widget. And we have the large widget. And we have a widget for just one stock symbol. So let's use the small widget. So we're going to add that. And so it added it to our home screen. Now, since the icons are still jiggling, we can put our finger on this and drag it anywhere we want. And then when we're done, we just hit done in the upper right hand corner. Now, if we decide we don't want that stocks widget anymore, we hold down on it, and you see our little quick action menu came up, and it says remove widget. So we touch that, it says, are you sure? And we remove it. So now we're back to our normal screen. So this top left widget is a stacked widget. So this is the Tips app that comes with every iPhone and iPad. It gives you different tips on different topics, as you can see here. Now I'm going to swipe up in the bottom to get back to the Today view. And now I'm just going to swipe inside that widget. So here's the windy.com widget. And here's my calendar reminding me of what I'm doing today. So that's basically how widgets work. So if you have any questions, if you haven't already put them in, please do so. And please remember to share the GoFor Gazette with anybody you know that uses Apple devices so we can help more people. And Zoom is added again. They're up to version 5.12.0. So if you haven't updated your Zoom in a week, go ahead and do that. And as a reminder, we're still waiting for iOS 16.3 before we recommend upgrading to iOS 16. So let's see what we got here. Okay, so Gretchen has a good question. And that is, how do I know which iOS I have? So let's go back to our iPhone. And we're going to go to Settings. And we're going to go to General, which is in the third section. And we're going to go to About at the very top. And there you see the second item. It says software version, and I have 15.7. So hopefully that answers that question. Okay, hi Bob. And Diana says, okay, so hopefully you got some ideas, Diana, on how to use widgets, and Bob helped Gretchen out there with an answer to her question. Okay, so the icons are similar. Gretchen said that they look like apps, and that's true. They do look like apps, but they have I hate to use the word shortcut, but I'm going to use the word shortcut because shortcuts are a whole nother topic. But it's just a quick way to find out some information about an app without opening that app. Hello, Judy. Okay, so Leslie Ann doesn't want a widget on her home screen. How can I keep them on the swipe right screen? So you just go to the, that's called the Today screen. And so let's go back to our phone. And Alexa says that she took a screenshot of each device's about and put it in Evernote and contacts for easy reference. So that's how Alexa keeps track of what version of iOS she's on. So that's a good idea. So I want to one of you asked me this question during the last week, which inspired this YouTube Live. So Leslie says, it won't let me move to the Today screen. So you just swipe, put your finger on the left-hand side of the screen and swipe right. So let me actually, we can put the Inspectocam into operation here. And so here we are on the Today screen. I'm on the home screen. You should be able to just place your finger on the left side of the screen and swipe right. So hopefully that's working for you, Leslie Ann. Okay, yeah, I muted the audio for a second there to clear my throat. Okay. Well, hopefully that answers all your questions and you know a little bit more about widgets and how they might be useful in your daily life. So, thanks for watching. We'll be here next week at high noon on Tuesday for another Go for Lunch. If you have any questions in the meantime, you can call me or email me, and that information is coming up right now. Have a great rest of your day.